Krr, 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 krr. Hello, Mr. Mtaung. Yabo. How are you, sir? I am good. I just wanted to let you know that we want you to be the pole boy in our game against Amazulu in the Culling knockout. Sir, I cannot do that. You are going to be released. I guess that's how the conversation went because apparently Kaizer Chiefs are looking to release Poso Titejane because he refused to be a ball boy in the game, the Culling knockout game against Amazulu. But there's been some complications, and I've been waiting to talk about this because I was like, it's going to be interesting to see what ends up happening. Also, there was another call. Krr, krr. Hey, hello, Mr. Mudaung. Saile, you might get released if you continue missing chances. Yeah, we're also going to talk about that. Hello and welcome to Cocination Fan TV. I am Pilo, I am your host. This is Offense Meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Amakosi Football Club. Let's start with Puso Titechan. For those of you who don't know who this is, he's a right back who is playing for our development team and he's been doing quite well to a point that even though he's still in the development team of Kaizer Chiefs, he was also invited to train with the senior team during the preseason. Not only that, he also played for Bafana in the Kosafa Cup, which means this boy is really true talent and is not just being seen by Kaizer Chiefs as a good talent, but is also seen by the national team as good talent. But now, because of refusing to be a ball boy, Kaizer Chiefs wanted to release him. They haven't done that yet, I guess because they're still weighing what they should do with him. Now, obviously, the story, people will have different opinions, and I will be interested to read those opinions because, on one hand, there are people who are saying, no, these boys, they should be given game time because if you look at it, the boys who are their age are already playing for Sundowns, are already playing for Pirates, so why are you making these boys ball boys? I'm like, but it's not even about just being a ball boy. It's about having a duty that is delegated to you by the team. Take, for instance, players like Potsane. Potsane had a few good games when he first started playing for Kaizer Chiefs. And then when he got injured, he was sent to go to the SIM card activation things. And he went there. We didn't hear that Potsane was complaining about going out there to activate SIM cards. He was there. Why? Because it's part of the duty of being a Kaizer Chiefs player. You have to engage with the people out there. That's for the senior team players. Now, you are still in development. And obviously, there's going to be some tasks that you are going to be required to do. I go back a few years ago. Now we're going to bigger teams. A team like Manchester City. We saw a player like Phil Foden being a ball boy of Manchester City. And then a year later, he was playing in the senior team. So this thing is not new and foreign to Kaizer Chiefs. But now, these players, the way that they reacted, because Titejane was not the only person who refused to be a ball boy, but there were other players as well who refused to do this. Now, obviously, there might be more to this than just a player refusing to be a ball boy because they clearly know that it's part of doing the job. We also saw Mfundo Vilakazi being a ball boy. I think it was the MTN 8, and it didn't look that happy doing it, but then it is what it is. He had to do it. But then you have to ask yourself, why is this the case? Why are these players refusing to be ball boys? And I think one of these things has to do with the fact that on Friday, there are reports say that Puso Titejane went to Naturena to get his clearance because apparently the relationship broken down and everything was not well. But Kaizer Chiefs refused to give him his clearance. By his clearance, I mean allowing him to go and sign for another team. Because apparently, according to reports, it is Key Times, they're saying that in his contract, there is a clause that says any team that wants to sign him would have to pay 1.5 million. And that's it right there. If Puso wanted to get his clearance from Kaizer Chiefs, that tells me that he has somewhere to be because maybe there is someone who want to sign him. But then the moment Kaizer Chiefs realize that, wait a minute, that means someone is actually poaching our player, so we're not going to give him the clearance, and now he's going to have to stay put. Which tells me that then there must be someone whispering in these boys' ears that, you know what, the easiest way that you can get out of Kaizer Chiefs, because you are not playing in the senior team and you should be playing right now, that's what they're telling them, is to just cause havoc and be ill-disciplined, and in that way it will afford you, it will get you released. Because even the big players, like we saw this thing like last year with Cristiano Ronaldo walking out, going to do an interview with PS Morgan. He knew very well that he was going to agitate the management of Manchester United, and they ended up terminating his contract. So I think this is the same story, that he knows that he's in a contract with Kaizer Chiefs, but he felt disrespected being asked to be a ball boy, and then he tried to do something that was going to get him released. But that has not happened, and I would be interested to hear, do you think Chiefs should be making these boys ball boys, or they should maybe take the under 15s? Tell me, Kuma comments. Mind you, the game was at night, and taking a 15-year-old to be a ball boy at that time, they have school, Ditejane is finished with school. You just have to factor that. I know it was a Saturday, but regardless, let me know. Also, please do make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Doing those two things helps me. It helps me a lot to reach more people like you. Let's talk about Christian Saile. But before we talk about Saile, I want to preface this by saying, you remember what happened with Caleb Pimenyimana. Caleb was missing a lot of chances, a lot of chances. Yes, people will say, but Caleb also played with an injury, but Caleb also was our top goal scorer. Remember, in football, there is something that is called XG, expected goals, which means how many goals you are expected to score as a player. That's based on how many chances you are getting in front of goal, but that also includes the number of penalties that the team might get. So you take out the XG Yama penalty, the expected goals from penalties of Caleb, what does his XG become? His XG for penalties would be 1 penalty per game, which is what he was getting now. So now he scored all those penalties. 6 out of his 8 goals are penalties. And then you look at his XG of non-penalty goals. Now you exclude the penalties. Then you'd see that he's still at a potential of scoring 10 or 12 more goals, which means he could have easily ended up with 20 goals last season, but he didn't. And you know what happened with him? They ended up releasing him. And obviously there is another element to all of this thing, that Zwane never wanted to sign Caleb, but it was signed as a panic signing by Mlifintsegi and the management, and because of that they ended up releasing him. What does this have to do with Saile? It has to do with Saile because according to Kickoff, yes, take this with a pinch of salt because it's them, but it's apparently been reported. It's been reported that apparently the club has told Saile that if he continues missing chances, which has been missing chances, and some people have accused him of being selfish, that if he continues missing those chances, he will be released. Remember, one of his bigger misses was last year when we were playing against Pirates. Oh, I still remember that chance. Don't know how he missed. And I don't know how this would be justified to say we're going to release him because he's missing chances. Because, I mean, look at the player like Ashley Dupree, right? He's also missing chances. He misses a lot of chances. The only thing that we don't see with Dupree is that he scores some. He will miss 5 and score the 6th one. And then with Saile, he will miss all 6. And I also think, I will say this, I don't want to say this, Saile is also a foreign player. Now, I'm not saying just because he's a foreign player, he should be doing better, but I'm kind of saying that. Because if you think about it, the management is also thinking about the fact that if he's not performing well yet, he's a foreign player. As a foreign player, he also comes as a person who's stopping kind of the space for a potential foreign signing. Take, for example, Kaizer Chiefs does not have a good left back right now. Well, a good left back is injured, and the other one is Uhlanti, who's not playing that well and is also in his last year of his contract. So we have Hanamup there at Amazulu, and I don't think he's the only left back that Chiefs can sign. But Hanamup being the one who's like the best, he's from Namibia, and is a foreign player. So for us to bring him into Kaizer Chiefs, someone has to make way. And if Saile is not making or doing the things that he's supposed to do, now they've signed Upotsane, they've signed 2 strikers up front, and Saile is not really a striker, and they don't trust him to play as a winger either. So it's kind of that way, Yoguti. He ends up being that player that they can look at and think, if he doesn't provide or give us what we want from him, then it's easier for us to release him, which I obviously think would be a great mistake because, I mean, come on. Saile gives you way more than most of our players because when he comes in, you always know that there's intensity, there's speed, there's pace, there's just energy that comes in. And yes, people are going to say, but you need more than just energy and all of that stuff. But it troubles the defenders, especially if you bring him on second half and then you know how to utilize him even better and help the players around him at least. For example, he can always just rip havoc and then lay the ball back to our number 10. Our number 10 plays the ball into the box or whoever is playing closer to him, and then we create chances. Because if he's causing havoc, he's causing disorganization in defenses. And once disorganizations are caused in defenses, then that's where we can find spaces and create goals. So I think Saile can still be utilized even without scoring any goals. He can play the pass before the assist to the goal. And then that's how we will be helping the team. So I don't think this will be a great idea. But what you think about this, let me know down in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, remember, equals. Alpelo Moy.